ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another stream on the TWRL channel. We're back for what is technically the penultimate round of this season one that we've had. Of course, we'd have the .5 season, and we are here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I mean, we've still got 4 races to go, and the championship is starting to seriously heat up. 14 points. I think it's 14 or 13, I cannot quite remember, but it's one of them two separating Jolly and OMG it's Joe as they get towards the end of the championship. Of course, you cannot not mention that going into this round, this was actually the round where Joe crucially beat his teammate in the Red Bull Langman for that championship following a huge night of racing. We had the 25% at Austria, followed by the 50%. I was joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Diablo JB33. Unfortunately, he has now left, but I am thrilled to continue to have this co-commentator that I've had out throughout the season, and I'm sure he's thrilled to be with me. I am joined by the man, the myth, the co-owner. I've used that joke before, I'm going to use it again. XForm HD, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello, I'm doing good. And yes, you have said that so many times, and it seems to never get old.
Yeah, I seem to like that joke a fair bit, but we're back for Brazil. A good track, actually. You know, one that, let's face it, if we had the choice of this or Abu Dhabi, you probably have to pick this for the season ender. But we will be travelling to Abu Dhabi next week, and then you cannot mention the 2 reruns we have to go. We first of all travel to possibly the most iconic place in TWRL. We head to Austria yet again to see if attempt number 2 can go alright, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we travel to the place where actually the league started. The first official league race in TWRL history was Belgium, and we travel there for the final round. So we'll have to see what happens as this championship really starts to heat up. We have got some reserves in who are very quick. New Zealand Ryan being one, making his debut today. We hear a lot about him in other leagues, you know, but in TWRL, he is a brand new driver and looking to make an impact in the Force India. EVR Cal is finally back. Hallelujah. Following his F1X ULC, sorry, why did I say that? ULC days, which he has been representing. He's finally back in the Toro Rosso to go alongside his teammate. Of course, to have Joe in, we've got Gorge Crab interestingly in. VRT Pred back again in the Ferrari. Last time I remember, the last time we saw him was Malaysia, so a long time ago. Tom, I know that's you. Good luck, lads, saying in the chat. We hope you guys enjoy the Tier 2 commentary by that man, and of course, Frozen Gamers tomorrow. Of course, I did come in last week to replace, but I am conceding defeat again. I am letting them have their tier 2, and I'm going to go to work. But I'll still be tuning into the stream at 7:30 and definitely watching while at work, so make sure you guys tune in as well. LK as well was putting decent performances recently. EVR Fredster, who finally had that win record broken because he didn't show up for the tier 2 race last week. And is definitely a man looking to set an impact as he gets close near to the end of the season here. Of course, in F2, I think he's finished racing now, so it's up to the other guys to see who can grab victories. Unfortunately, he has pretty much bossed the season, but up in F1, we'll see how he gets on when the new season starts. Of course, another new reserve making his debut, GSY Ginger Ninja. A few men from other leagues. He's making his debut in the Mercedes, it looks like, for today. We've got a 17-man grid, Josh, so a very decently sized grid. Lovely to see in TWRL following, you know, we do have some pretty decent numbers, and it's nice to see a proper field grid for what is technically the calendar's penultimate round. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, definitely. I'm just getting loads of messages. People are like, what car and etc. But mainly the reserves. But yeah, no, it's it's all manic. Twitter's blowing up. Messages on Xbox. Oh.
Yeah, the beauty of being a co-owner, let's put it that way.
We are starting, yes.
We are now, so this is where the messages stop for Josh, and it all just sort of calms down until after the race when all the Twitter beef comes out. But we are now loading in for the short qualifying. And you got to say, Josh, who's going to be your favourite now? Because there's a lot of quick guys at the front, and the pressure on the 2 men that are fighting for the championship, but everyone else is looking to make a statement of intent. So who have you really got?
I don't really. I mean, yeah. See, obviously, originally we thought that Joe wasn't going to be able to race due to supposedly breaking his Xbox with a tennis ball. Who knows? Roughly, that's the story. So then it sort of looked like it was Jolly, but I honestly don't know. It's so hard to tell. I think Joe making it, but you don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah, it's been a bit unpredictable this season, and it looks like it's going to continue that way heading into this round. So let's get excited and ready to go as we now load in for qualifying. I should mention IEVXR, who I always get his name wrong, but I got it right then. He is actually watching while at work, just like I do for the Tier 2 stream. So commitment there, buddy. We're all thankful that you have the commitment to watching the stream. As we're just loading in, we've got a dry qualifying. So we should mention, you know, look at 2008. This track is notorious for having the occasional shower, and the weather can change like that with the humidity. So we'd have to wait and see, but it looks like we've got a nice dry session to start us off. But of course, cannot mention, we do have a few reserves coming up from Tier 2 as per usual. We have ESR Trolled and I believe Sambo, the two coming up today.
Good
so
old
lovely
Samba.
to see. Some Tier 2 guys having a go in the top division against some of the best drivers, you've got to say, out there. You know, you've got to say these guys, you know, they're most from AOR Tier 1, some of them, even New Zealand Ryan's case, AOR Oceania Tier 1, he leads that championship, so he's definitely a man.
I think there's going to be rain in race. I don't know completely, but yes, I think there's going to be rain in race from the overall, with what the Twitter chat is saying there. So yeah, I think we're going to have a wet race. I don't know straight off the bat or at some point through, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see then.
Yeah, that could make it interesting to put it that way. Especially with them two lads battling out for the championship. On board with a man who's first out, which is EVR Fredster, who miraculously, right, he's only started scoring points since I believe it was Japan, or possibly afterwards. I believe it was Japan. And he's already found himself in 7th in the championship, with a chance, with the man who's not here, he scores 6 points today. He will move his way back up into 6th place ahead of Jack Spar, but then he's got a long way ahead to likes of Cal, Frozen, Smithson and Jolly. Should mention Frozen Gamer, some of the pretty consistent season. He finds himself in 4th, 8 points off of Smithson, so that could be an interesting battle to keep on an eye on, as well as Cal only 4 points behind him, of course, now coming back. So Cal's got a good opportunity, but I will stick on board with Fredster as he starts his first flying lap. We'll quickly go with the off of the leaderboard while we watch his flying lap. The run down towards turn 1. Hitting speeds of around about 202 potentially. Brain Adolph's with turn 1 there. Sort of missing the inside curve there through the centre S's, but gets it nice on the second part in towards turn 3. Now it's long swooping left-hander as you hit the second DRS straight. Now on the run down towards turn number 4. Can be a crucial day for overtaking this. You can get good X out of 3 and 2. You can possibly find yourself up there. Through 4 he comes, hits the curb nicely there, gets up on the runoff nice and smoothly there, swoops his way around through 5, up towards 6 and 7 now. This double right kink that can be very difficult to get right. It looks like he's got it just about there on the first try. You can corner cut there if you go to the right. Yellow flag just ahead of him. That is a Mercedes. Not really too sure which one, but someone has had a moment through the long left-hander. He comes out on the run down towards this sort of hairpin-like corner. It's actually quite slow, and you can be quite slidey there, especially with worn tyres. He gets it a bit sliding there on exit, but all good through. There is that block corner, the crucial corner that won Lewis Hamilton the championship. Through the final corner, that was technically the final corner. The final corner you have to brake for. Now this is all flat out. This massive run down to turn 1, but still, if you get it wrong, it can cost you time. He has got the Merc in front of him. He's about to start a lap, so Fredster should be okay. Then we're up to the line now. EVR Fredster is going to start us off with a 109.7. So a decent lap from the Haas driver as usual. Smithson's had a moment at the final corner. Onward with the man in the championship contender, Jolly in the Toro Rosso. He's on the line. Cal sets a fast lap with 109.2, flashing that by half a second. Jolly doesn't set a lap, leaving like a corner cut there, so that's not going to be his lap. Smithson has
we've got
beat
Amazed
it.
in the wall. In,
Oh, yes.
Sector 2 here, just nearly sector 3, but yeah, he's in the wall and he's out of the race. I should also point out that the reserves we have for people who are confused with. So we've got Ginger Ninja, ESR Maze, New Zealand Ryan, and obviously Sambo and Trolled as well. They're our reserves, so obviously they won't be scoring points.
Okay, it's interesting to mention because
Just
of course
to point
it's a bit confusing. Ryan actually just set the first lap there. He's gone P2 with that, a 109.5, 2 tenths off, 2 tenths of Fredster, about 3 tenths off of Cal. So a good first lap from the man of the Force India. Now this is the lap time that I'd like to mention. Little Rye, a 109.999. That is precision like you will ever see it. I'll tell you, I'll give you a story. Yesterday, I did Monaco for another league, F1 XL, and my qualifying time was a 111.111. I got every single one possible. I was so pleased with myself. But that quite possibly must take the biscuit. A 109.999. That is incredible accuracy. Mossy Oak set a
Jolly's
10
just gone second.
He has as well. Frozen just
9-4 from hitting Frozen.
12 thousandths off of him with a 109.413. Jolly with 109.401. So nearly.
Yeah, we've got Pred coming up to the line as well. As Lil Rye's actually just improved his time there with a 9.5. But Pred coming up to the line now, very late joining the session in that Ferrari.
Doesn't sound like.
And he crossed the line, but it was invalidated.
Oh,
We've got
Cage has
Jack
gone
in the Renault.
fastest. 109 dead. As we do have Jack in the Renault. Jolly. Who was that just gone up? I believe that was New Zealand Ryan. 109.2 for him, beating Cal by 700. But still 2 tenths off of K. So the man in the Haas doing very good bits. The two Haas's have been very consistent recently. K and Fredster. So you've got to say, you know, them two putting on good displays for us to witness here. Mossy just comes to the line, no improvement from him. Pred is, I believe, on the lap. But at the same time, we do have OMG. It's Joe,
yeah,
championship
Joe.
leader, up to the line. What can he do? He only ends up P6.
P6.
A 109.418. 5,000
Between
off
4th
of,
and 6th there. I was just between Jolly, Frozen and Joe. I mean, it's ridiculous there. Same with really New Zealand Ryan and Cal. The gaps between them, it's not really showing.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't. I mean, of course, with a short
Lil
track,
Rye's coming up the line. He's improving as well. Just a butt in there, but Lil Rye maybe P4 for Lil Rye. 109.3. Everyone seems to just be improving here. Straight off the bat. And yeah, let's put Lil Rye up to P4. Good lap from him. Ginger Ninja, one of our reserves. He's in sector 3 now. He's going to be coming to the line, see what he can do. It's 10-2. Feel like he's got a bit more to gain there. So we've got Pred in sector 1. I believe he's going to be the only one on the lap. Troll's 4 attempts up.
Can I just mention this though, just for a second? The top 7. 4 tenths apart. That is ridiculous. You've got from 2nd to 7th, that's 2 tenths. K just being the real anomaly. Have all that midfield, so that is an unbelievably close field. Of course, with this being such a short track, we should mention it's very hard to gain gains and very hard to lose time on such a small track because there's not really a lot of places you can. So if you can nail a lap, you can find yourself right up there, and you know it's just been proven. Look at, for example, you know, got Frozen Gamers up in 6th, beating OMG It's Joe by 5,000. You know, then there's only 100th between the pair of them to Jolly, and then only 700th ahead of him is Little Rye. So there is barely next to no time. As Fredster has just come up to the line, but he has not improved. I believe he only just started. Amaze is left. That's not a good sign. Ginger Nim's on the way. It seems as if everyone is on their weighing bar Fredster as he comes through turn 3. And apparently, I've just been informed by Tom. I didn't have a chance to look at the chat because it's been absolutely manic during this session. But apparently, it is forecast for heavy rain.
Yes, I got that through from Jolly as well. I'm just trying to get. We've actually lost Sandbo as well, but I can't seem to invite him back, which is annoying. It's annoying that spectators can't seem to invite people.
Yeah, it seems to be a common thing that seems to be a bit of annoying. So Codemasters, get on it. We've got 13 viewers at the minute, so make sure you spread it. But yeah, Fredster is currently on the lap, and if he finds around about 3 tenths, he can see himself right up in that mix. So you've got to say, if he finds a little bit, runs a bit wide there, but seems to get away with it. Whether he's down this time, whether he's just on the pit now, we'll have to wait and see. Jack RT, Jolly, Frozen Gamers and K all now on out laps, so we'll have to keep an eye on when they start their laps. Fred is diving into the pit, so we'll go on board with the man who's going to be first to go on to start his lap, which I believe is Frozen Gamers in the Force India. A man who I did mention before has had a very consistent season and definitely deserves all the credit he gets. Currently finds himself sitting in P4 with a chance. It's a challenge for P3 here, you know, okay. Start from Smithson, still yet to set a lap, we should mention, so his main championship rival has not been out. As Frozen just comes through turns 1 and 2, Centre is lovely there, through 3, long left
Jack,
hand.
can you hook me up with an invite back? I'm just trying something. Oh, Smithson's got me, no problem. I'm just, because obviously we can't invite people in the spectator, so I'm thinking if I get in the lobby, then send the invites, it should work.
Bit of mathematical thinking there from my co-commentator as I will continue on with this qualifying. So Frozen is now coming through turn 6 and 7. They're in towards 8, which can be quite a tricky corner actually to get right if you run on that curve a bit too much, especially with that heavy overfield, especially as well given the fact we've got heavy rain. So the question is, what will guys do in terms of setup now that it's going to be rain? Will they have planned for that, or will they instead still fancy a dry setup just to make sure they've got that a little bit in qualifying to maybe get away but you never know, it could dry up, so we haven't got full information, so it could dry up in ways similar to what it did at America, where we had that heavy rain at the start, intermediates dry, and it ended up being quite a sunny day in Texas. But we'll have to wait and see. Frozen has come up to the line, and it's going to be a 109.322, a hundredth quicker than Little Rye with 109.332, so a bit of confusion there. But it's all okay. Jack RT in the Renault has just gone 1,000th quicker than Fredster for 8th. As Fredster is still in the pit, so we might see him out very, very, very soon. As Joe has just started a lap. Jolly, championship contender, comes through the final corner. Doesn't look like he is on a lap. He might very
down
well
on
be.
his time.
And the question is, has Kay's just gone even quicker?
Okay.
108.9, that is ridiculous pace as he's just now. I believe he might be going to another lap as well. He's actually not, he's backing off. So that might be him done. Who have we got? We've got that EVR Cow, a man who is 4 tenths off of him now, has a chance to knock Kay off his high horse round the final corner.
He's a 10th up as well.
Could this be enough for Cow to find himself up there again? He finds a little bit of time. Obviously, he's already 10th up, so he could do some ahead of New Zealand rider just with this lap, but he's on a lap himself. Cow up to the line, doesn't improve, as he actually might have validated that lap. Frozen comes to the line again. He set a 109.225 and finds himself out in a P3 for the time being. Fantastic lap from the man of the Force India. As who have we got coming near to him? OMG, it's Joe, championship contender. Jack RT just set a 109.555, not improving the position, but does improve the time. Joe, up to the line.
We've got Cotfield in the Renault. Your old teammate coming out to the line. P10 for him at the very minute.
3,000ths off of Fred. That is ridiculous. Jack RT binned it at turn 1 after that lap, and then decided I've had enough and retired. Mossy Oak in the Ferrari comes through the final corner, as he is about to.
He's currently up by 2 laps.
So he might be on for a good chance here. Jolly, in championship contenders, just gone third with 109.2. And then Little Rice just beat it, but he set the exact same time.
Yeah, New Zealand Ryan also. I don't know if they've set the exact same, but it's too close.
They have. They've both set a 109.216
as well.
Yeah, but I think we've just had a glitch because Jolly set his lap first, and yet he's behind. So no idea what just happened. Cow not improved, and it looks like that might be it. Everyone retiring, so
a lot
check
of
the
people
flags
are
out.
retiring. It can't improve.
OMG's Joe, championship leader, round the final corner, onto the straight. What's it going to be? He needs to find time here to find himself up towards the front. He doesn't. He's down in 7th. Championship leader down in 7th. With his championship contender currently up in 4th at the moment, but it could all change. ESR Troll has finished with a 110.7. Frozen Gamers hasn't improved because he ran out of fuel. Jolly is still on a lap though. Smithson, 109.223. Frozen, 109.225. 2,000 between them. Brian comes on the line. Jolly, can he improve? Doesn't improve, so he doesn't end up any further. Little Rye doesn't improve
as well.
Fredster is the only man on board now.
Fredster. And he's 5 tenths up at the minute.
This could be a chance. Look at the gaps. That is ridiculous. There is half a tenth between 3rd and 7th.
Fred could jump to maybe 3rd here.
Where's Fred going to go? He goes 3rd. 109.1 from Fred, so he's the anomaly and ends up in 3rd. And that was just bizarre. I can't wait to look at these gaps. So it's Kay on pole by a 10th. 1 tenth behind him is Ryan. 600th behind him is Fredster. 700th behind him is Little Rye. 1,000th behind him is Jolly. Then you've got Smithson a whole 100th behind. Then you've got Frozen 2,000ths behind. Then you've got Cow who's a half a tenth behind him. And then it starts to break up. You've got Joe and Jack RT ran out top. So there's Joe down in P9. Got a lot of work to do in that heavy rain. Ginger Ninja, VRT Pred, Mossy Oak Camo, Codfield, ESR Trolled, Sambo and Maze did not set laps. But oh my god, that is ridiculous. I've not seen anything like that
and here's
in all my commentating days. As I'm going to skip, oh my goodness, chucking buckets. Now, Josh, quickly talk because I've not got a water bottle yet, so I'm going to quickly go fill up some water. So we're back in 2 ticks.
Go for it. Yeah, so as we can tell, the rain is chucking it down here in Brazil. We have the dry quality and how close it was there, so it'll be interesting to see if people are sort of on that equal pace in the wet. If it is going to be incredible. Obviously, Brazil turn 1, it's sort of known for everyone locking up, and with the rain, it's going to be interesting. We've got 17 guys here today who are all going to be trying to go for the win, and it's going to be a manic race, but hopefully a good one for everyone to watch. As I believe Jack's got his water there.
I'm ready. I'm all set and ready to go as we build up to 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in heavy rain conditions. Don't forget, it's 5 red lights, and it is lights out now, and away we go. Fairly decent start there for everyone as they're slowly getting away. Fred's still on the second run. It's like got fairly decent start compared to New Zealand run, but he's still going to try and dig down the inside of K. They're side by side and run out to move 1 into 2 now. Heavy spray, you can't see barely anything. They'll crawl through turns 1, 2 and 3, but it's Steve. K still leads from Ryan, then comes Fredster, but he's got Jolly for company, but then Jolly's got Little Ryan for company. Fred is Ryan's trying to shift down the inside there, but so is Little Ryan. Jolly, this could be crucial for the championship. They make slight contact, but Jolly fends it round the outside. Fantastic bit of defending. Frozen Gamers is just behind them. Joe's down in 10th and fending against GS1 Ginger Ninja. Not a good start for him. Frozen's down the inside a little right there for P5. Fantastic move from him through 6 and 7.
Cal as
now
well.
Cal fancies his luck as well. And he's now going to try to think of the inside of Frozen, as you know he's not. Frozen cut it off nicely. Cal not being that lungy, of course it is still very treacherous. This has got to make sure they can take it very easily. We've got a spinner. We have our first huge contact there. Jack RT and Codfield. I think there might be contact there between the 2 Renault teammates. That's not good news for my former team. Oh my goodness me, it is unbelievable stuff here. Really treacherous conditions. It is absolutely unbelievable stuff here, but it looks like it ought to be calmed down. Still the yellow flag in sector 2 there. Is it still Codfield again? Oh, sit down in 17, not having a good day. But as they come through to start lap number 2, it is indeed K who still leads here in these conditions, followed by New Zealand Ryan, then Fredster. Jolly got himself on a P4 after Little Ryan. He's had a poor first lap, he's down in 7th. Frozen worked his way up to P5, but has got Cal for company as they come through 3 now. Of course, no DRS in this race, of course, at all, yet alone on lap 3. We're only on lap 2 as yet, but we've still got nothing, as actually Cal is shifting for a move there round the outside and run towards turn 4. Frozen fends it nicely and brakes later, but will he be able to get a better exit to switch back through 5? He's not able to. So Frozen fending off nicely from one of the championship high runners, and a man who actually can catch Frozen. These two are in a championship battle to try and nick that P3 off Smithson, who finds himself down in 8th for the time being, but has had a good start to work his way up. As actually, he's lost 2 positions. I thought he started way down here, starting in 6th. My apologies. Little Rye and Smithson rid of the 2 losses out of the start. Joe stuck behind VRT Pred at the moment in P10. He's got a massive gap to troll. I think has front wing damage, so he's all good, but needs to work his way through because his championship rival is currently going to catch him by 11 points, but still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Josh, anything to mention?
Yeah, so the main thing that happened back there, obviously, so Codfield didn't lose front wing damage. Amazing.
Yeah,
he
has,
has,
got
yeah.
a better X out of the last corner. I was just on board with Frozen and he just lost the position. And now he's got a little rifle company. Apologies, but do carry on.
No, it's actually, I can't, because Pred's looking for a move past Smithson going into turn 1. And same with Mossy, his troll's actually in the pit, but Smithson's trying to hold it from Pred. Pred's going for the switch back there for turn 2. Is he going to be able to hold it? He is, but he's going to have to keep an eye on Joe, stuck behind these guys as well. Joe's going to maybe go for a double move. Smithson's gone up wide there.
You genuinely can't, just because of the spray. The spectator, you couldn't see anything there. Oh, that was unbelievable.
Joe's got into P9.
Oh, Fred's out
from the session. Fred's in the wall.
EVR Fred's the man in P3 has binned it out of turn 5. And that could be crucial. As now we're down to 16th. We've lost our first man already. But Jolly now finds himself on the inside of Pred. Oh my goodness me, it's still all kicking off. It's all kicking off lap number 3.
It's got lap number 3 and nothing. Is Joe going to look again? He hasn't. Fred's defending the position here.
Got a yellow flag.
As obviously Fred's now out of the session. As Cow is all over the back of Jolly, the 2 Toro Rossos.
Yeah, this could be crucial. As actually he is already shifted it inside Jolly with a worst exit out of the 2. Side by side. Jolly actually let him go. He's thinking about the championship. I like this thinking from the championship contender. But his team, his current rival, is working his way up. He's got VRT Break to still get past, but he got past Smithson to find P8. So 4 points for him currently. Still will keep him enough to be in the championship league going into Abu Dhabi with 3 rounds to go, of course, after this one, so not too long to go. Fred's run a little bit wide out of 2. 5 second stop go, actually trolled us out. Troll's had a moment
Troll's
there
in the wall.
at the final corner, so that is his day done. As actually Ginger Ninja has just passed Sambo for 11th through turn 1. I believe they're both...
New Zealand Ryan's in the lead. He's gotten past LK, who appeared to have maybe had a moment there. But Ryan has now got the lead from LK.
Yeah, LK seems to be struggling a little bit on lap number 4 here. Seems to be looking like he hasn't quite got the consistency, but the reserve New Zealand Ryan currently finds himself up into the lead. We should mention, of course, Ryan is a reserve, so everyone will bump up the position. So Quaid will be awarded P7. As it stands, Joe will be awarded P7, Jolly will be awarded P3. That's really the battle to keep an eye on. Because actually Jolly's got Frozen for company here for P4. A man who is also looking to gain decent champion points, and Little Rye's just behind. So Frozen wants to get a move on. The same with Little Rye. They want to they can sort of see them guys fading away ahead, and potentially this could be a chance. Eventually, Frozen seemed to get a fairly good. Of Frozen was the man who had a really poor exit compared to Cal, and Jolly also had a better exit compared to Cal at the final corner. So they're sort of got something in similar. They don't really like that last corner. As Cal sets the fastest lap there with 22.4. So you've got to say he's looking strong as he starts to catch
LK as well.
K. There's actually Little Rye taking very, very, very cautious there. As actually Joe's down the inside yet again. Now the outside through 2. They make slight contact there. Joe's forced out wide, but now Smithson might take opportunity here. This could be crucial. Down the inside will Smithson go. You can't see bugger all because of the spray. They run down towards turn 4. He's not gone for a move there. Smithson thinking about his race a bit more. Of course, it is still wet conditions. Have just been informed by Tom that apparently it is set to become light rain conditions near the end, but it's going to be all rain, and we're going to have all manner of.
It's Frozen's always in the grass there, going for a move on Jolly. I just went on board there with Frozen. He was trying to get past Jolly here, and he nearly got pushed onto the grass. And Lil Rye is there. Pred's like catching as well, which is not what Jolly needs, because Pred has got Joe just behind him, who's aching to get the move done. But yeah, it seems that Jolly's holding up Frozen and Lil Rye at the minute.
Yeah, he's now got a 4.4 second gap to his teammate. So you've got to say, he is definitely a man who's not looked to be good in these wet conditions. Definitely struggling. And in fact, this means now that his championship rival will be at the back of this train if it continues this way. As actually Frozen, compared to Jolly, they seem to get a bit of a worse exit. And Little Rye is sort of all over the back of him. Will he try a late move up the sneak? Frozen does go defensive. Little Rye shifted to the outside there. This is for P5. Can he get the move done? This is sort of behind Jolly. Frozen fending it down the inside. Looks like getting back there through 1 and 2. That falls Little Rye slightly out. Now Fred might potentially be involved here, as Little Rye's got a poor exit out of 3 as well. He's all over the back of him as they run down towards 4. It doesn't like to be close enough just yet. Or will he try something? Does shift to the inside, but doesn't thinks better of it. And instead slots back in behind for P7 for the time being. But Little Rye, a bit of a mistake there out of 1 poor exit after going for the move from Frozen. Not getting it done, and has now really hindered his race. And now got to catch back up to this train, and looks like he might be able to do it swiftly, judging by what we've seen from Jolly as he crawls round the track now. Yet again, as Cal is now 4/10 behind LK as he starts to sort of fall back a little bit. So early signs, it's all kicking off. We've already lost 2, ESR Troll and EVR Fredster. But still plenty of this race to go, so still a chance for a load of mistakes to happen, still a chance for a load of overtaking opportunities. As look, New Zealand Ryan still not able to quite pull away. They've got a 1.5 second lead over LK, but he is slowly sort of creeping away, and I'm sure Cal definitely seems to be the fastest man on the track at the moment, set the fastest laps. So maybe Cal might be the man who could grab the race victory, but we'll have to wait and see if he can keep it up. As now the gaps in that huge train seem to have sort of formed a little bit. Everyone's sort of on a fair enough gap to not go for anything. Frozen definitely the closest man out of the lot to Jolly. This is his opportunity to get past before Little Rye catches back up again, because of course that caused him problems because he went around the move. ESR Amazed, actually Jack RT has got half the front wing.
Yeah, he's at a moment there, and it's allowed Amazed and his teammate of Codfield back fast, who's Amazed has already made the stop, and then Codfield kept spinning on the opening lap there.
Yeah, he is starting to sort of close up to the back, and it's really looking like this could be crucial for his race. If he wants to get past LK, he could look at the back of Ryan. 3 second time for Amazed, so his stage has gone from bad to worse. A man who had to pit on lap 1, and actually Cal is sort of starting to shift now, starting to do a bit of movers as if to say, come on, let's get a move on. Either that, or I'm just going to take over you like a piece of cake. They come through the Islak block corner now, no real sign of any move just yet. Will Cal try and get the better exit here, sort of allowing a massive run down towards turn 1. They now come past the Kit Kat sponsorship now around the final few corners now. And actually, okay, a bit of lag there from him, but no real issues. New Zealand Ryan sets the fast lap with 22 flat. So that's a sign that he is definitely pushing up with the gap at 2.7 seconds. Over a second quicker. But okay, that lap, you've got to say, just kind of sneaking up the inside, but no real chance there. Through 2 into 3. And LK is sort of starting to frustrate Cal a little bit, I believe. He wants to get the move done. He has got the better exit out of 3. Got the slipstream in towards 4 now. They're side by side here, the Toro Rosso and the Haas. Down the inside, Cal was going to be a relatively easy move. No, K fended down on the outside there beautifully. And still, though, Cal get the better exit out of 4 into 5 and gets the move done. That's him up to P2. And surely, if he continues to show the pace that he had when he was catching up to K, he could look to catch up Ryan here for the race lead. So Cal with a fantastic effort back again in this league. Fantastic to see as this train is starting to close up again. But Joe has lost 1.5 seconds. I believe he might have some front wing damage there on the front left.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but Pred, with Pred, he's now all over the back of Lil Ryan. Lil Ryan's still closing to Frozen just about. So yeah, Red Joe is 1.3 seconds behind. I don't know if he's made a mistake or maybe Pred has just put in some incredible laps all of a sudden and broke away from Joe and Smithson as well, who's dropped off from Joe just a bit.
Yeah, he's actually, Johnny might seem to have found a bit of a groove. Of course, in the rain it is crucial to get yourself into a bit of a rhythm and keep going. So he seems to might have found that a little bit more now. He don't seem to be quite so much under pressure from Frozen as he has been. So you got to say that he's definitely turned it up a little bit, but he's still 5.6 seconds behind K and still sort of losing time. So you got to say K's slower than Callum Ryan, but he's still quicker than Jolly, Frozen, Lil Ryan, and the rest of them. So he's sort of in that little bit of a gap to sort of secure that P3 for the moment. Because Will turn P2.
Pred's nearly lost it there. Just going on to the well, what would be I'm trying to think after the first couple of corners there, but I know I've seen a lot of people struggle there, and yeah, Pred he had to run out wide just so he wouldn't lose it, but he's back again, got the momentum, and he's put in a gap away from Joe and Smithson. So I'm not too sure if Joe and Smithson are struggling here, or if Pred's just found the groove like with Jolly, as you were saying. Interesting to see. Conditions don't seem to be getting any better at the minute. Maybe a tiny bit, but yeah, it's just still chucking it down the rain.
Yeah, so 9 laps in, about to start lap number 10. You should mention real gainers from the start. Cal climbing up from 8th in the second in the first. Well, now it will be 10 laps, so fantastic start for him. Pred climbing up from 12th to 7th, so a good start from him. Mossio climbing himself 3 positions. Frozen climbing himself up from 7th to 5th, of course. Jolly only climbing up from 5th to 4th, so not a too bad start, but still, can he start to close up to K if he can find that rhythm, which, I mean, he seems to be sort of trying his best to do. Whether he's actually done what we said he was going to do or not, we'll have to wait and see. Has he actually got?
Yeah, I was just on board with Joe, so just butt in. I was on board with Joe and he just locked up into turn 1 and lost 4 tenths from Pred, so maybe that's where Joe's been making the mistake, and that's where Pred's been like getting away.
Oh, yellow flag sector.
We've got yellows in sector 3.
It's Jack RT again. So the two Renaults are not having a good day at the minute, 14th and 15th for them, as Jack RT's been disqualified for going the wrong way. Right, that's not gone well at all for him. Actually, his little right is actually all over the back of Frozen Games in sector 2 here. As he actually, is he going to shift on the inside? No, he doesn't. But actually goes for the switchback there, a little bit of a sneak and round the outside there, but he's not able to get the move done. Frozen with a much better exit and fends it off for the time being for that P5. But this is allowing Jolly to sort of escape a little bit and have a bit of no real pressure behind him. He's now got 1.7 seconds clear. Frozen gets a poor exit there on the last corner. Little Rival, a lot better exit there on the run towards turn 1. Can he get a move done here? He's stuck behind him. He can't quite go for a move here. That'd be ridiculous. He sticks it in lean actually and actually dives it into the pits on lap number 11. So lap number 11, right fancied a pit stop. The question is, we believe it probably will be for another set of wet tyres. I think it's way too early to consider it as if it is going to dry up. It doesn't quite look like it is dry enough. He does actually come in. And he is actually going on to the intermediate tyres.
He's going on inters.
So whether it is
he's
actually
taking the risk.
We'll have to wait and see. It's actually Pred is all over the back of Frozen now. Ever since Little Rye's come in, whether Frozen made a mistake there through sector 1 while we were on board with Little Rye, we're not too sure. But Pred is now all over the back of Frozen for P5 now. So now it's the Saubers had a go. Now it's the Ferrari's turners. Now we've saw that little ride pit. Of course, the guys will be watching out now to see how he gets on. There's actually Mossy Oak is starting to creep up to the back of Smithson. There's actually Little Ride's just been passed by Ginger Ninja there coming out the pits. So that could be a sign it's not quite time just yet for intermediates. So he could have timed this all on. This could have blown his race. He was up to P6. He had a chance for some good consistent points here for the Sauber team. And it seems to have gone all wrong for him in the second set. The question is, will they start to kick in? The more and more he goes down the line, the question is, when will they kick in? He needs to hope soon. Otherwise, this race could be a bust for him as they run down towards turn 1. Neither of the two that we're going to take, neither of the top 4 also pit. Frozen shifting to the inside there as Pred goes to the outside. They run out towards turn 1. Pred trying to go around the outside, not able to get the move done there. Frozen braking later, but the switch back from 1 not able to be completed. Yet again, we're going to see that seems to be quite a good strategy, but Frozen's got it all wrong out of 3. He now Pred's down the inside. It's been a relatively easy move. He's got it done, gets a bit on the curb, but Pred gets up to 5th after a poor mistake from Frozen in 3, and that's cost him. And now the question is, can he start to close up to Jolly now for P4? So Pred working his way through as Joe still continues to struggle there, down in 7th. You can just see him, he's struggling with the back end a lot to come through 5. So VRT Pred finds himself up into P5. Jolly might have to start looking in his rear mirrors again, because Pred might start to catch up. We've seen him with some great pace here so far, a few mistakes from him, but he's got away with it all so far. As now Cal and New Zealand Ryan, I should mention, are sort of slightly fluctuating between one another. There's actually Sambo, that's just been passed there by ESR Maze for P12. So that man's day has just got even worse. He's now down in the P13 equal to reserve, coming up from tier 2, and not doing a too bad job so far, but he's down in 13th, so a long day ahead of him if he wants to find himself in the points. As New Zealand Ryan starts like number 13, but Cal set the fast lap at 22.039. I swear that was only a couple of hundredths off of New Zealand Ryan. So the question is, the track may be improving now as we see that time start to tumble. So we may start to see some guys potentially pit for inters, but surely we feel it's too early. There's actually Little Right, it seems to be, there might be a bit of a gap here, because Little Right is sort of sticking to Ginger Ninja as they begin now, as they'll start their lap number 13. But the question is it enough? You know, will the unchangeable conditions come into the play of Little Right now as they come towards turn 1? Yellow flag in sector 2, who has had a moment. It's not one of the... Oh, it's actually Cal! Cal's gone remarkably slow. Cal's had a moment.
Yeah, it is. Cal.
What has happened to him? And he's now got Kale over the back of him.
Yeah, he still was front wing, but... Yeah, okay, he's now right there beside him. He's lost about, what, 3 seconds, I would say. Actually, no, more than that. Yeah, another one. Who's that? Don't know who that's for.
Quite know what's happened there.
The ghost of Sector 2, clearly.
Yeah, we've clearly got a bit of a ghost in Sector 2. But it all seems okay. We should mention penalties actually so far. No one has got one other than Mazed, I believe. So, decent driving from the guys there. Brian doesn't have a warning. Cal doesn't even have a warning. Kay doesn't have a warning. Jolly, no warning. So,
well,
these guys
Jack Ottey got disqualified, so if we ignore that one.
Yeah, but I think that's going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Reported for, so Pred needs to be careful. He's on 2 warnings. As actually, he is sort of closing up to Jolly. It was about 2 seconds down on 1.5. So definitely.
Yeah, Jolly's closing to LK at the minute.
He is.
The gap was up to 8 seconds, and it's now down to 7. So he's slowly closing. Yeah, just keep an eye there. Obviously, once the pits happen, it'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to undercut, or if they're just going to stretch these wets out until the interstages. It does seem to be getting better out there, but I still don't know if it is Inter's territory at the minute. Yeah,
well, I mean, the spray definitely doesn't seem as bad as what it was when I couldn't even see what on earth was going on into turn 4 because there was about 4 cars in front causing spray, so it was basically blinding. It definitely seems to be getting better. And it definitely seems to be getting lighter, but the question is, who will make that first call to come in for inters? Of course, Little Ride did try a massive undercut, but that's really not paid off for him now, as he's now still stuck behind Ginger Ninja and not really able to get close enough to make an overtake. As in actual fact, they just started lap number 15. Have Cal, Ryan and Kay, so not really going too bad. It's actually Frozen dives it in. Lap number 15 at the Force India. Fancy the pit. The question is, will he go on to Inters? Does he feel it's time?
Yeah, we've got Codfield and Sambo back here. Obviously, the Renault Codfield is going to want to try and get some positions. Well, technically, Codfield will be scoring points due to the people who are reserves, etc. at the minute. So Codfield will be getting at least 1 point.
Yeah, but I think this may be just for pride to get past Sambo. He shifts to the inside there. Sambo could have before. It's actually sort of held him off a little bit there. But Codfield is still down inside. Actually, Frozen's. Look at Sambo. He's miles on the turf there. Down towards turn 1.
He's creating a new line.
But he's run dramatically wide there, and Codfield's simply down the inside. Is he? No, Sambo fending him off through 2. Bit of action going on here. As actually Codfield has shifted his way up to 6th. So I think he's actually letting Sambo back through. Whether he just wants to battle or what, we'll have to wait and see. But we should mention.
Sambo's off! Sambo clipped the ball, and then he bounced across track to hit the other wall. Yeah, not too sure completely what happened there. But yeah, Frozen did pit for another set of wets, and he's down P9 at the minute.
Could not have been the wrong
Interesting
call.
strategy from him. Yeah, I mean, pressure tyres, but I don't know how much. He did seem to have some decent pace, so maybe now he's going to have to try and put that into perspective and go all out, so to speak. Keep an eye on the gap there between him and Mossy, because it's currently 11.8. And it does seem to be dropping.
Yeah, you can already just see it.
Lil Rai, 8 tenths away from Ginger Ninja. It was about 2.4 at one point, as Smithson's picked himself up a penalty. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it is Inters or not. Lil Rai's close by this point. Oh,
we've had this situation before where it's sort of been in that weird crossover phase, where it's sort of it starts to feel like the wets are struggling, but at the same time, the Inters still don't feel right. So it's sort of that tough stage when the guys need to keep the consistency up. Sambo is in, but of course
Sambo's in
for front wing change. As Rai is definitely starting to catch up.
Maybe it is for a set of Inters.
It could be as well. It could be multi-purpose. No,
it
stays on the wets, and actually they've not fixed his front wing. So I can imagine that he's probably a living man in that cockpit, because I'm pretty sure they probably want to.
I don't think he's got front wing damage. He bounced off the walls, but he didn't seem to pick up any. It would be nice if the game let me actually ride a board with him.
So I just had a response from the guy from Tom, who's in Frozen's party, and he said apparently his tyres were just dead. He just couldn't make them last anymore. So
okay.
That is a question of, will the other guys now have to pit if it doesn't get light enough soon? Because that could be a sign that it isn't
Frozen,
quite.
it's 10.5 now, the gap.
Yeah, his fresh wet seems to be doing a good service, but the question is will these guys be able to hold it out until it becomes Inters? These guys are definitely struggling. You can just see it visibly. You know, the fact that the track's getting dry, so their tyres are going to get hotter, and also at the same time.
Yeah, Lil Rai. All over the back of Ginger Ninja, maybe going for a move into turn 1. He's on the Inters as Frozen's picked himself on penalty, and Lil Rai is going for the move on the inside. Ginger Ninja going to try and find his back on Bex, of course. He is Josh, and I'm amazed he's not that far behind. He's just picked himself on a time penalty. But yeah, Lil Rai seems to be getting the better exit, so it does feel like that maybe this is now the Inter stage, as Lil Rai he's wanting to get past him quite quickly, and it appears that they aren't catching Frozen. Frozen's catching Mossy's. Lil Rai is on the inside. Is he going to get a move done? He has at the minute. So that was Maze to catch up to Ginger
Oh, he's
Ninja
just
here.
dived it.
Maze
He's gone for
move.
a late lunge there on Ginger Ninja, proving that he hasn't got time for stuff like that. He gets the move done nicely. Another question is, will he be able to keep up with Little Rai on them Inters? It looks like he's going to stick to the back of him, so it might not be time just yet, but Little Rai has the chance to pull away a little bit now. We aren't expecting Maze to go for too much move. Jolly's in. Championship contender. Will he be the one that gambles it?
Jolly.
This could be.
He gambled it last time, didn't he? At USA, and it did not work for him. He's going on to wets. Smithson's in and Mossy's in as well.
I swear I just saw Smithson's tyres ready, and it's McLaren that have decided the Inters. So a varied strategy happening. Smithson comes out on the Inters, actually just pulled out the pit box on my
as well.
Mossy also fancying the wet. So this is a very bizarre stage of the race. As actually Frozen's got the undercut. Through free. Yeah. Fantastic effort from the man of the Force India.
Yeah, well done from Frozen.
So he's going to find himself in a net P4. So good effort from him to pull that off. But What will these Inters guys think? It's actually Little Ryan's just come out just ahead of
Little
Mossy
Rise
Oak.
up to P9. Yeah, good job from Little Rise. And Mays was in and Codfield. Both throwing on the Inters. So, different strategies from some of the drivers here.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be what tyres do you go on? Is it gonna be intermediates, or is it still that wet phase? We should keep an eye on this battle really, because these guys are on fresh wets and fresh Inters other than Little Rye. We've got Mossy Oak, Smithson and Little Rye for P8. This will probably be the battle to see what the difference is going to be like as they come through the right hander now. As actually Joe's in, championship leader, 5 seconds stop, go! Now, if that's Joe's only stop all race, that could be 10 seconds. So that could be crucial. He goes on the wets himself, so he doesn't feel like it's time, but he couldn't make his tyres last anymore. As now Pred
Will be
ties other
interesting to see
people.
if Frozen gets past, as I think he will, same with
Yeah.
Jolly, but it depends on the gap.
Come through turns 1 and 2 now as Joe tries and gets himself out as quick as possible. Of course, you don't want to get front wing damage. But the question is, what will the gap be as they come through 3 now? He's 4 seconds, probably going to extend even more now as they run down towards turn 4. It looks to be about 4 seconds between them. So, Frozen pulling off absolute bits there and started to close out the Predator, who is on very, very, very worn, wet tyres. 19 laps on them. That is a long time indeed. But now the leaders, what are they going to do? Ryan stays out another lap. Cal, what will he do? Will he try and undercut here? He doesn't. What about LK? The man in the Haas. He also doesn't. So a lot of these guys not fancying pit stops. What about Pred? Will he come in? The man in the Ferrari, the man who's sneaked his way up in a P4 at the moment, and is definitely a man to watch out for at the moment. He does dive it into the pits on lap number 20. Now, what will he go on? Bizarre strategies unveiling here, as Mossy is actually starting to lose time here to Little Ryan Smithson. So could it be Inters? Could these guys who gambled for the Inters be the men on the right strategy? Pred has also gone on to wets as well. So it's really, really, really bizarre. This must be very difficult for the leaders to judge what tyres they're going to go on. Because, of course, if they go on to wets, that's going to be the safe option. But Inters could be the faster ones. Especially if we're getting it towards the end of the race, it seems to sort of dry up. Now, where will Joe come out with regards to Pred? Joe's going to come out behind.
It is behind them.
But Jolly is all over the back of Frozen. This, of course, is for now Peak 4. These guys are too far behind LK, but of course, with that undercut, they might catch him a little bit. So definitely might be in a battle. Ginger Ninja has just pitted on to intermediates. So he fancied the change. So the guys at the back seem to be risking it. Now the question is, will that risk pay off? We'll have to keep an eye on the back between Smithson and Joe. That'll be the crucial one to watch out because they're on different tyres and are both sort of fresh. So that's definitely the one to keep an eye on. K is in.
LK's in.
Pass. Because he wants to make sure he doesn't get a time get any penalties there. As it goes very, very slow into the pits. What tyres will it be for the Haas?
See where Frozen and Jolly come out in terms of K. Obviously, we saw how effective the undercut was with Frozen.
Inters.
So LK's gone on the Inters.
That could, in my opinion, I think that's the right call. I think with the track, the way that it's been drying all race, it's going to become Inters eventually. So you might want to make your own stop Inters. Yes, you might be slow at the start, but that could be crucial for your race. LK is now on his way out through turn 3, so he's going to go out miles ahead. The question is, what will the gap be? He sort of crawls out the pits a little bit there. Just to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and of course, he wants to make sure he makes these Inters last, because of course, in theory, they should last him to the end. And now this will be the battle to keep an eye on. What will happen in terms of Cal and New Zealand Ryan? The gap's going 25 seconds between K and them. So Ryan's now coming around the final corner. Keep an eye on our race lead. We haven't really talked about him a lot. He's had a fantastic, consistent drive survive. Got an 8.3 second lead to Cal. What will he do? Will he pit on lap number 21? Can he make his size last anymore? He does stay out again. So still yet to pit. Now it's Cal. What will he do? Will he now fancy an undercut bail out on K? He does.
Cal is pitting.
So Cal fancies the pit, gets the timer just right there, and then able to come down nicely. He should come out ahead of K. He's got a 24.9 second lead. So he should come out ahead. The question is, what tyres will it be for him? He goes on Inters. So the two men that were second and third are on Inters, but the guys behind them still fancying the wets. So this could really, really, really vary strategy here. Well, then wet guys had to make another stop simply because they're too slow. It's actually Frozen's in. Frozen's in. Lap number 22.
It is.
I reckon this might have been the wrong strategy call. What tyres? It is Inters. It's gonna happen. So the guys that have fancied the wets have made the wrong call. That is very, very bizarre. So that means our two championship rivals, Jolly and Joe, might have made the wrong call. But what will they do? Will they gamble staying out? They've got to come in. There's still 14 laps to go with this race. As a Maze just set the fastest lap on Inters with a 21.9.
On Inters, the key bit. But that's supposed to be the key bit there, is that the fast lap was set on Inters.
Ryan's diving it in. Ryan is now diving it in. He's done 22 laps on them wets. He's the only guy not to pit. And now the question is he must go on Inters, surely. Oh, he's being held! He's being held! He's been slightly held there at the pit stop because he had his teammate in just a couple of seconds before. Who was that? I'm not quite sure who that would have been. That probably would have been Frozen.
It wouldn't be his teammate. His teammate's not there. So it may have been, I don't know who that was actually.
It must have been Frozen. It might, because Frozen pitted just about half a lap ago.
Yeah.
It's only slightly, but Kano sets the fastest lap, 21.2. So definitely these guys that were on wets made the wrong call. Jolly's in, Pred's in,
And
Joe's
same with
in.
Pred. Joe's in as well.
5-6 stop go for
Pred's got
Pred as he
5-6
speeds,
stop go.
but Joe's now got a 5-second time penalty to serve. Ernjit's
Moss
Joe
is
has got
staying
that stop go that he's now going to serve, so he's got to wait. Mossy has stayed out to go on at P6, so Jolly's on Inters, Pred's on Inters. We expect Joe to now go on Inters now that he's got the chance, but he might come out behind the Maze here. Joe might be outside the points. Of course, mathematically he'll come back in because of the reserves, but he is side by side with Maze. They come through 1 into 2, and it looks like Joe is stuck down in 11th. Mathematically, he is, let me work it out, he's going to be 10th because we've only got one reserve in the top 10, and that is New Zealand Ryan. So 1 point for him. And currently, Jolly will find himself on 6, so only 5 points gained. But now this is Jolly's time to show up. Of course, he might gain up another position because, of course, we're expecting Mossy in from them wets. And Little Rise and Little Ryan Smithson have snuck their way out of the 4th and 5th. So Little Ryan, after that call that we believe might have been wrong, he's got it right.
He has also, Mossy's on the wet, so we expect him to come in. But yeah, Cal setting the fastest lap there and is closing to Ryan.
Seems as if the intermediate guy has the better pace out of the two. So the question is, what will happen? Is actually Little Rye dives it in. Rye has dived it in on lap number 24.
Maybe for another set of Inters.
But he hasn't done too many laps on. Mossy has stayed out another lap. So this has got to be a gamble to see if he can just sort of grind this out, see where he'll end up. So Jolly's now up into what is 10.
They were pitted on lap 11, so I don't think he would have been able to take those Inters all the way to the end. It is going to put Joe into P10 though.
What has happened to Joe? He was right behind the Maze. And he must have made a mistake on that lap, because he's now found himself 4.8 seconds behind. So Brian now comes out of the pits. He is ahead. So now, surely Little Rye is going to be Jolly's favourite friend, but Jolly's run a little bit wide there out of 5, and has got Pred all over the back of him. So Jolly not liking these intermediate stage. He didn't like the start of the wets. As New Zealand Ryan sets the fastest lap there over 20.7. What will Cowley be able to respond? Can he respond? He doesn't. LK, can he respond? He doesn't manage to set the fastest lap. What about Smithson behind them, because he's 90 seconds down the road. 3-second time for Ginger Ninja. That's going to be crucial for him. As now Pred is sort of sticking in the dirty air of Jolly. This is not going to be an easy thing for him. We've got to get past the championship contender, a man who is really probably an underdog story this season. Nobody thought he'd have been up in the championship fight, but he is. So definitely this could be crucial for his race. As actually
Frozen's closed massively to Mossy on the wets.
He has. This is for P5. Remember, so this is 10 points, and this will probably frustrate Frozen because he had to make that extra stop, and Smithson pulled it off right. Smithson, his championship rival, is now ahead of him in 4th. So that's not worked out at all well. for the Force India in the end. After being running high, having a chance for a good result, he played it safe by going on to wets. And maybe in the long run he could have gone into inters, but instead he's had to go for a second stop. There's actually Jolly has got a poor exit again out of 5. Pred round the outside through 6. Can he get the move done? It's a big suicidal defender from Jolly, we believe. He fends it through 7. No sign of Pred going for a dive bomb there. Fends it off for the time being, but that's definitely not over. It's Frozen. It's all over the back. Wants to get past Cal, sets the fastest lap again. 20.1 for him. Frozen diving on the inside of Mossy. Their
Frozen's
contact.
got removed.
Wheel banging there, but he had to get past. That man is on the wet. He doesn't want to stop behind a man on the wrong compound of tyres. That's going to be crucial for his race, but now it's Jolly's turn to get past. No questions, will Mossy Oak realise that and dive it into the pit? This might have been the wrong call from this man. He has, of course, only made 1 stop, so he's still got fresh wet, but it's not worked out at all well. Has that strategy of staying out, risking it, but he still stays out.
He's staying out.
I mean, that could be an interesting call, and it's going to make it interesting for Jolly and Pred, because, of course, they're going to catch up to him and got to get past him with 10 laps to go. So this is not over yet, as Cal is slowly closing up to New Zealand Ryan for the lead. So this battle could be just about starting. Of course, these guys, of course, Cal has got 1 lap older inters, but let's face it, is that really going to matter with this many laps left? As actually Jolly is all over the battle. We should really keep an eye on this battle. So there's the 2 Ferraris. Jolly is stuck in a Ferrari sandwich. Mossy runs a little wide, and look at him, he's almost crawling through there. Jolly's got to go for a late lunge. He has gone for late make contact there. Now will Pred try and follow suit? Mossy running wide, but still fends it off from his teammate. The 2 Ferraris in calamity there, and now Jolly's got himself a bit of a gap through that 1 corner. That's just proven. Now Pred on the outside, Mossy squeezing him, but Pred shifted to the inside there and gets the move done. So Pred up into P7 now, but lost about a second there battling with Mossy Oak, but surely that's got to be time in the pit. He's now got a Maze 7 second behind him to close it up. As Joe's still not catching, so Joe surely not had a good race. It's not been a good race for the man who wants to call himself a 2-time TWRL League Racing champion. It's not been a good start, and it's definitely not going when Mossy dives it in.
Is in.
So that's going to give the positions up to, I believe, at least Ginger Ninja, I believe, might just about get him. So Amaze up in a P8, right up in a P9. It is inters, so instead fancy it. So Joe now gets himself on a P10 and will get P9 awarded. But his chance will get 10 points as it stands. Still with around about 9 laps to go. So it's definitely not over yet. As the top 3, we should mention, are 23 seconds clear of the rest of the field. So it's been a fantastic drive from them lot. As Mossy Oak is just now on his way out. Will he come out ahead of Ginger Ninja? He does. So he can now look to try and rebuild his ways. The question is, can he catch Joe? He's not at good pace, has the man in the Mercedes. So can he catch him now? As actually, Codfield is all over the back of Ginger Ninja for P12. Of course, they still for no points, but lovely to see. A bit of battling going on further down, even though they still haven't got any points on the board. So lovely to see. Especially as well, trying to make an impact as the debut man Ginger Ninja on his reserve debut. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. In some more wheel-to-wheel stuff. Because actually Codfield is still at the back. Ginger didn't get a poor exit there. Stick on more this battle briefly as they come through the hairpin now. Look at that, just Codfield is basically pushing him through there. Almost, it's a break to sort of let him go a little bit. Ginger run him on the curb there, get a nice exit actually out of there. Through the final corner. And it doesn't look like my former teammate is going to go for a move just yet, but keep an eye on that because that might happen in a few laps. As you've got to say, as actually as well, we should actually mention, Amazed is a reserve, I believe. Josh, correct me if I'm wrong. So actually, Joe will be awarded P8, sorry. Actually, in fact, that's 4 points. So that's not gone wrong. We should mention time penalties as to who's got some. We do have one for Smithson.
Fred's 5 seconds stop go, which will be obviously 10 seconds.
Yeah, that'd be 10 seconds for that man, so that is not going to be good job. And the question is, will Amaze, Little Rye and Joe be able to close up with 10 seconds? Well, he's got 7 seconds currently to Amaze, and then 8 seconds. So it's going to be close between him and Joe as it stands. Cal sets the fast lap again. The gap is now 5.1 seconds between those two. As there's a bit of a psychological warfare between them. It's about who can keep it clean. and who will not make mistakes, as this is definitely going to heat up as they get close to the end. Between these two. I should mention, cheeky time to plug, about 7 laps to go. Make sure you tune into Tier 2 race. 3-second time again for
Pred's
Fred.
picked himself up another penalty.
So that's not going to be
Lil
good
Ryan
at all.
was at a bit of a moment going to turn 1. I think he outbroke himself and then he went to the back of a maze.
Yeah, definitely didn't well for him. Adam ruined his race. I was about to say plug time, so I guess I will put it plug now. Don't forget to tune into the Tier 2 race tomorrow with the managers which are currently racing, currently P5 Frozen Gamers on commentary alongside Scar Free. Definitely one to watch out for that. And of course, if you fancy tuning in to watch the big boys, make sure you tune into ULC and cheer on them McLaren lads. Hashtag team TWRL, the team now of Jolly and Fredster in Tier 2. And in Tier 1, we have the team of Cal and Joe. Definitely keep an eye on that and watch our lads take on some of the best leagues out there. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that. But for the time being, the battle seems to be between Fred and Jolly for P6. But of course, with all them time penalties for Fred, this might not be worth it for him. He's got to try and start and extend the gap out to a maze. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say also another cheeky plug we can do is a certain league that me and you do, known as LRPCC. It's a league racing Pro Clubs Championship, which TWRL are actually taking part in, which is starting up very, very soon. So if you don't know about that, then check your Twitter, because TWRL have retweeted some stuff from that, and our first game is actually against the F1 League. And so yeah, I believe that's next week, isn't it? That'll be starting, so another little cheeky plug there.
Yep, so make sure you cheer on them Green and Yellow Army, the team of TWRL FC and TWRL CDF. The teams captained by our owner Jack Spar 32, and the TWRL CDF team is captained by VRT Rex Knight. It's nice to see him make a return to the league to captain that team. And make sure you tune into that as well to support them lads, and as well all other 13 teams which are in the league. It'll be very interesting to see how they go. Of course, I own it, so I can't really say too much about it. But yeah, make sure you cheer on them TWRL lads as well, as I've just said that on screen, but I'm actually captain for another team, so that's a bit crap. But yeah, make sure you take them on. Actually, Little Ryan, another moment there. And he is like block corner. This might allow Joe to sort of slowly creep up now, as they definitely have to watch out for our championship leader. He seems to have turned it up recently. So I'm going to enough plug in now. I'm going to get on with the last few laps. And the question is has Pred got enough to get past Jolly? And the question is, can he, because he continues to pull a gap out now. It's down to 8.9 seconds between himself and a maze. He's got to pull out 13 seconds across the board to find himself up into P10 at least. He's got it up to 9 seconds now. He's slowly sort of creeping up. I believe Maze might be struggling a little bit on them inters. The gap is starting to extend more and more out as we get along. Should mention Cal is very close to bringing that gap now to under 3 seconds. So he's definitely been the faster out of the two front then. And now 8.2 seconds behind them is K. And then 27 seconds behind K is Smithson. So the front three have just buggered off. All race, they've just buggered off. They're not even part of the rest of the field. But K sort of stuck in a little bit of a gap, so it's not really nice. But it must be a bit boring for him. He had that bit of action when he came out the pits with Cal just ahead of him. It was very close.
He's going to get some decent points though for him. 18 points for him. It's going to, it's going to put him up actually, I believe, potentially into Racer Champions.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Kay gets on the Racer Champions. It'd be nice to see him, because he has definitely been a man who has sort of exploded in the league racing scene recently. Not really, wasn't really known too much, and then really sort of exploded through other leagues and has joined ours, and we're proud to have him here because he's a very, very, very quick guy and definitely want someone to watch out for in the future. As actually, Little Rye, I've just realised Little Rye and Joe could be, I can't remember saying this, but OMG's Joe could actually be Jolly's best friend here. Because if they battle in a maze, the gap's going to come out. So Pred could actually still manage to not allow Little Rye and Joe to get in position, because he wants to worry about Joe. Because of course Joe is his championship rival. That's what he'll be looking out for. Is where is OMG's Joe? Is the man who said he had no pressure on his shoulders. But I'm sure he'll be feeling that minute. He's got a McLaren ahead of him, which I believe is Sambo, being lapped. So that is definitely something. Joe, of course, will want to get a move on because, of course, he can see a little rider because he'll already get the position from Maze to get himself up into P8. Because, of course, Brian is also a reserve. So we should actually mention Cal will be awarded all 25 points here and will actually overtake Smithson and Frozen for that P3 in the championship, or will he? I think he might just about. I don't think he'll overtake Smithson.
I believe he will.
Overtake Frozen.
Yeah, obviously it depends on where Smithson finishes, but I can let you know as soon as the race finishes. I'll quickly do some quick maths, you could say, and work that out.
Yeah, of course, it's not all over yet, so anything could change with now 4 laps to go of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Cal is doing everything he can to close down to New Zealand Ryan. The gap now down at 3.4 seconds as they come close towards the end of the race. Little Rice still not able to just about get close enough to the back of Amaze. Fred is now around about 10.1 seconds clear, so about 11 seconds clear. Fastest lap for Cal as he starts lap 34 for himself. So you've got to say he's definitely going for it in this stage, and the question is, has Ryan got enough? We should mention Cal is actually Ryan is right on the limit of his fuel allowance. He's actually gone up to back markers though. He's got Ginger Ninja and Cobfield just ahead of him. He hasn't got a lot of fuel in the tank compared to Cal. Cal's got 0.28 laps of fuel. Cal's got around Reason Roy's got around sort of naught really. He hasn't really got any more to give. As he has got 3 back markers in front of him. He's got Ginger Ninja Codfield, and then just ahead of them he's got Mossy. So this could be a bit of a hindrance for him. 3 seconds for Mossy actually, so that might cost him that position come the end of this race. As actually Pred sliding through turn 1 there, just putting on board with there. He's got sliding through turn 1 into 2. He's definitely struggling with that back end, definitely giving it everything he's got. It's actually Little Royce downing inside of Amaze there at turn 1. I didn't actually quite realise that to look at the gap, but Amaze fends it off through 2. And able to get the better run, but will the switchback come into play here through 3? It looks like it might just about all stick to the slipstream.
Jack. Ooh. I was going to say I've got some awesome news after this battle's done.
It's all good. I think Amaze just fends it off. Apologies for interrupting, but it just seemed to heat up a little bit then. Lovely to see on the penultimate lap.
So I was going to say Frozen actually does have a time penalty of 3 seconds. So if Jolly can close the gap by 6 tenths, that will give him some more points over Joe. Obviously. You know, he's going to have to rely on Jolly's going to have to rely on Pred to keep stretching the gap out to Amaze, Leroy and Joe. But I think at the minute, Pred will actually be behind them.
Yeah, it looks like he might just about be 13 seconds, I believe. And he's about 12. They are only about to start the penultimate lap. So there's still a chance that he can get away, because of course these guys are still battling heavy. Of course, Amaze sort of wants that sort of the claim of finishing P8, of course won't be awarded that because he's reserve. But I'm sure Joe wants to get past, because you can see Little Right is a full-time driver, so that'll be another few points for him. But Little Right, of course, want to get past to prove a point. You know, saying, yeah, I could have got past. Actually, he's going to try and sneak it, is he? No. Sort of tries to spook Amaze out, and he does sort of there, as he crawls through turns 1 and 2. Look at this, it's a freeway train. Amaze, 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial for his race. As actually Joe's all over the back of Rye through 3. He does go defensive on the penultimate lap. Can he get a move done though? Our championship leader, this be crucial for him. He's not able to. Fantastic bit of defending from Rye. But will he get the switchback now through 5? He doesn't. This is allowing Mace to get away. But Chris is allowing Pred to still continue to get away. That was crucial stuff there. As we should mention, New Zealand Ryan and Cal just started their final laps. Little Rye 3-second time.
Little Rye's got time penalty.
This is just all worked out for Joe.
Got the move done.
Incredible stuff. Has this just played into Wonky Joe's hands? His 2 men around him have just picked up 3-second time. Joe runs wide though.
Joe's made a mistake.
This is just allowing him to extend more and more. There's still side by side a bit of a switch back there through the final corner now. Will he be able to break later? Yes, he does. Fends it down the inside. Fantastic bit of racing. As actually as well, Smithson and Frozen side by side. For P4, this could be crucial. This is allowing Johnny to catch up. Actually, this is crucial between them. Frozen round the outside. Could this be the opportunity he needs? They make contact. Fantastic last lap battling between these two. Who will get the place? Who will get P4?
Leroy's looking on the inside of Joe.
It's all kicking off on the last lap.
Yes,
They're still side by
position.
side.
Meanwhile,
For P4,
yeah, Cottrell's
Smithson's got it done. Smithson's fended it. But Jolly's now 1.5 seconds behind Frozen. That should be it.
as
New
Zealand
Zealand
has
wins.
crossed the line with EBR,
Ryan
Cowan 9
wins.
tenths behind.
Cow in second. He done everything he could, but he couldn't quite catch up. Kay's going to attack consistent P3. But the battle we want to keep an eye on is this one for P4 between Smithson, Frozen, Jolly and Fred for the time being. Will anyone be able to get a move done? Amazed is 12 point. As it stands, it's going to be really close between Joe and Fred. So what will happen between those two? As actually can Amaze do anything? Yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2 as the race comes to a close. As up to the line they come, who's going to get it? Smithson's going to take P4, or is he? I think Smithson has a time penalty, correct me if I'm wrong. On the run up to the line, he does weave.
But it's
He
Frozen.
takes P4. Frozen also takes P4. Jolly takes
Jolly's
P4.
up to 4.
Jolly is up to 4. Now has Fred done enough to allow him to get away? 12 seconds to Amaze. It'll be 13 seconds over. Amaze slows up to the line. He gets past him.
Joe's gone through. Joe's P8.
Joe is P8. So the championship leader has lost 8 points. Well, actually, no, hang on. So Jolly's actually being awarded 15 points for this race. And Joe will be awarded 6. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 9 points that's been closed up between the two championship leaders.
Joe is now on 220 points with Jolly on 216.
Oh my god. That is ridiculous. But we should mention, we didn't really have a chance to mention, the Force India, New Zealand Ryan, a fantastic consistent drive on his TWRL debut. We all knew he was a big name coming into this. And it looks like he is going to be a man who's set to impact. The question is, will he become a full-time driver? And will he start really making an impact? And potentially next season, challenge for that title. We'll have to wait and see. Welcome to the league. We should mention this is one fantastic victory from the Force India. Cal taking second. And in P3, we have LK finishing fantastically consistent. Yet again, the Haas team scoring some decent points. And that is it. So your top 3 are New Zealand Ryan, EVR Cal and LK. Jolly now close to that gap. Maybe becomes 4th in the end, but just. Smithson takes 5th. Then comes Frozen in 6th. Fred, in the end, Nick's 7th, just about. As actually, it doesn't look like he's been awarded the time there. So that could be changed. Joe takes 8th, Little Ryan 9th. ESR Amazing from P10 in the end. Mossy Oak 11th, Codfield 12th, Ginger Ninja 13th, Sambo 14th, and I believe that was we had Jack RT, EVR Fredster, and who was
Trolled.
Sauber? Trolled, all with DRS. No, not DRS, DNFs. That's the word. But there we go. That was the penultimate round. Whew. Well, technically the penultimate round, not quite, but. So yeah, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the stream. And well, the championship is definitely hotting up as we head into Abu Dhabi. 3 rounds to go now, officially, of course. That might change. We don't really know what's going to happen with the reruns. But for the time being, it's 4 points. 4 points between Joe and Jolly. We've both seen they can win races. We've got an underdog story, and we've got a returning champion. Who will grab the championship? We'll have to wait and see. As I did mention before, this will be the end of the stream, but do make sure you tune into the Tier 2 race this time tomorrow with Frozen and Scar3 in the commentary box. And make sure you cheer on those 2 lads. There's 4 lads in ULC, with Tier 2 being EBR Fredster and Jolly, and the Tier 1 lads being Joe and Cal. So make sure you cheer them on. And yeah, that is going to be the end of the stream. Whew. So, thank you very much for watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen, as per usual. It has been a pleasure. Josh, thank you very much for joining me in the commentary box.
As always.
And that will be the end of the stream. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next time for Abu Dhabi. Goodbye.